Hello and welcome to this new day in the eSailing Nations Cup 2023. Tonight is Poland versus Sweden of Group B, and joining me is Cube. If you've been in the Virtual Regatta Intro community, I'm sure you've heard of him. How are you doing, Cube?
Doing all well. Really excited for a new match again.
Yeah, and with us as well is Donnie, the former captain of the GBR team in the eSailing Nations Cup 2022. Donnie, how are you doing?
Grand evening all. Looking forward to it as well. Should be a good race, this one.
Yep. So let's quickly have a look at the standings in Group B. So in Group B we have Italy, Turkey, Poland and Sweden. Italy in a comfortable position at the top spot of Group B, having played twice and winning both of their matches in a decisive win against Poland and Turkey. Turkey in a second place, even though they've played once and lost their only match, they've done better than Poland, who have lost 5-0 against Italy. And it'll be Sweden's first match, so whoever wins this game will be second of their group. However, if Poland loses this match, it's going to be very difficult for them to stay in the top two position of their group. Having a look at the format right now, it's going to be 5 races, the same we've done so far. So the first one is a 2v2 mixed race in the star. So 1 female and 1 male player from each team, and then onto the offshore racer in a 3v3. So it's going to be a very tight race for this one. 4v4 J72, probably one of the most balanced boat in the game. 4v4 Ilka, which is the Olympic class formerly known as the Laser, and then a 3v3 F50, which is the fastest boat in the world, or one of the fastest boat in the world. The players are in, so we're going to switch to them right away. Cube and Donnie, what are your expectations from this match?
My expectations, I guess, we're looking at a lot of battle for a lap and a half, and then it's all going to come down to the last run.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very tight match as well. What can you tell us about the star, Cube?
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty clear it's one of the slower boats. So here it's all about the tactics, making sure that you're positioned well, that you don't lose valuable meters from the start. The wind shadow can be a very powerful weapon, definitely on the downwind. But you want to make sure that that you don't let the other team escape from that wind shadow and give them a free victory. So staying close is the main goal here.
Yep, so in the Swedish team we have Sven Seglin and SGR88. Sven Seglin, also known as Harding, and SGR88 is their female player, who we've seen a couple of times in the steering the course matches, and well, in their Nations Cup as well. And on the Polish side we have Korba and Antila Ankila, both players that we also see regularly in the Polish roster. And in the steering the course for Antila Aquila. So match has started.
Yeah, so we saw a very powerful start there by the Polish team, who managed to penalize both the Swedish players. However, SRG88 got a great tag there out of her penalty and managed to just about cover Antila Aquila. So very dangerous situation there, very close together. Loved by Antila Aquila, trying to penalize SRG88. Looks like it's the 2 female players neck and neck right now, with the other 2 comfortably sailing away. Remember, in the 2v2, it's all about the last place. The team who finishes last automatically loses the match. So the focus in this race will really be on those last 2 positions.
Just want to do a quick shout out to Zama Mixters, who's been a regular now in the stream. How are you doing, Zama? And Vitri Zveski, hi to you as well. Hope you're well.
So we can see SRG88 leading Antila Aquila away onto the left-hand side of the course. much further than the ley line, trying to increase that distance as much as possible. So a good move there and a good comeback by the Swedish after their poor start.
Yep, so they're approaching the first mark soon. Hey, Tom Franklin. How are you doing? Also with us is Donnie.
Yeah, so Aquila not really losing too much, even though she's in the wind shadow there, because they're so far above ley line. You don't really lose too much in that situation, so still going to be pretty tight at the end of the first upwind.
Interesting move there by Korba with the mark trap, which was pretty successful in my eyes. Really slowed down the two Swedish and brought Antilla Aquila right back into the battle.
Yeah, so we see Harding really pushing away Korba and penalizing him.
Yeah, so they're really focusing on clearing out the opponent before the mark rounding, which is quite a surprising approach. Most boats just go straight onto the downwind and then fight it out in the downwind. The Swedish really focused on making sure they have a strong position before starting that downwind, and they seem to be defending it quite well now with Harding winning the battle on the left hand side, and SRG88 just behind Antilla Aquila. A little bit more speed there might give her the right of way as the leeward boat. Almost a friendly penalty there from the two Polish players. And SRG88 seems to have the hook. So that is putting her in a very, very strong position, as she can now control Antilla Aquila and push her to the back.
Yeah, we see some very aggressive maneuvers. They're taking their time to finish this leg. Most of the battle in the Star is going to happen on the downwind legs, as we can see here.
Yeah, so our right-hand gate is a little bit favored, but that together with the right-hand shift makes it a pretty even gate situation. So we might be seeing a split here between the two boats, and that is exactly what's happening right now. So a split, and immediately Harding focusing on Aquila Antilla, on Korba with the penalty there. So good move by Harding, dipping down and penalizing Korba as soon as he rounded the mark.
And we see Antilla slowly maybe coming back to help out her teammate, keeping Harding in her wind shadow.
Seems like this shift is fully in, so might be worth leaving him and taking the shift.
Yeah, and it looks like SRG88 might be a little bit outside of that zone, although she's getting the shift as well now. But a good position here for the Swedish players, who are really increasing that gap, which is around 24 meters now between Harding and Korba. It's not big enough to completely clear the wind shadow on the downwind, but at least it's a good start to initiate the downwind. Now, Donnie, I have a question for you, because I know that you like some match racing from time to time. So, what's your preference, depending on leading or being the sort of pusher in the downwind? Where do you like to start your downwinds from?
Well, I'm not really a big match racer, but So I probably would prefer to be in front and try to defend, but yeah, either situation. I guess you can't be so picky. Just have to manage both. But yeah, as you say, Corba is certainly close enough. He's got a piece of Harding there, so all to play for still on this downwind.
Yeah, so Harding really pushing onto the left now, trying to keep that starboard advantage, and also the option to be the leeward boat and love Corba. So that's why they're going really extreme now.
And the wind is very hard off the side, so it could well be possible to run from there.
And now it's all gonna depend on a perfect timing from Corba to slow down on Harding enough, then do a double jibe, and try to position himself leeward of Harding, so that he can attempt the hook maneuver. There they are. Yeah, and that's exactly what just happened. Corba with the starboard port penalty there on Harding. Very good timing from him.
I think he can run from there if he just heads for the pin.
Yeah, so it's gonna be up to SRG 88, but she made a very unique maneuver there by tacking instead of just waiting, and that tack might have cost her a little bit too much time, I think, because she isn't able to close down the gap. No chance of pushing Corba out, and that is gonna give a win to the Polish team in this first battle of the evening.
That was a real roller coaster of a game, actually. I thought Sweden was had a very strong start, and then Poland managed to catch up at the very end of that downwing.
Yeah, I think that maneuver there by SRG 88, making the sort of 360 instead of just easing her sails and waiting a bit, caused her to lose too much ground, and by the time she was up at the same level of Corba with the same speed, the finish was already there. So I think she should have stayed a little closer, not have done that 360, and maybe then she would have had the chance to use her right of way as a leeward boat to push Corba up, give Harding a chance to come back. But yeah, 4 more races to go, so the game is still wide open.
Yep. So first round for Poland, 1-0 in this mixed race in the Star. Next up is a 3v3 offshore racer. What can you tell us about the offshore racer, Arthur Cube?
Yeah, so the offshore racer, very long boat. So it's quite big. I think it's one of the bigger boats in the game, and it's slow, a bit similar to the Star, but the main difference here is that it has a spinnaker on the downwind, and so that is gonna give the boats a very long wind shadow. But they're also gonna start using bigger angles on the downwind, so they're not heading straight downwind as with the Star. So you're gonna have longer downwinds with a little bit more more tactics involved as to where you position yourself on the course.
Yep, so currently waiting for the players to join the race, and we'll get back to it in a second. Hey, Jer7, eSailing, hope you're well.
So yeah, one of the characteristics of the offshore racer is that its angle to the wind, so its upwind best VMG angle is very small, so it can sail very sharp into the wind. And that means that at the start, if all boats are lined up, you really want to be the rightmost boat so that you can use that starboard advantage and control the fleet. It's very difficult to cross the fleet on port after the start in this boat. So being close to committee, if you have a neutral start line, is really the spot where you want to start. So we might see some battles there between the two teams for that committee end. Other than that, it's a 3 versus 3. So I'm sure there'll be a little bit more communication between the teams to make sure that they don't all start at the same spot. Definitely to avoid penalties being given from one team member to the other. So we will also see some spread there, I assume, with some players starting at the pin end, some at the committee end. And hopefully some nice pre-start battles.
Okay, and it looks like the race has started.
So we'll have a little bit more trouble in this race following the boats, as they all seem to have the same color. Nothing to do about that. We can use the flags at the top of their sails to notice the difference, definitely in 3D view. So that is going to help us. So we see one Swedish boat at the pin end of the line, and then one Swedish boat at the committee end. So you really see that spread quite well between the players of each team.
Well, OCS for Sweden.
So one OCS there for Sweet Sailor. Looks like Tim Janek from Poland tacked straight onto port and got away fairly well. Then we have Furan from the Swedish team, who took the pin end side, got a very good start there, and is also leading the fleet from that side. So it will be a close call here between Tim Janek crossing the fleet now on starboard. He has the right of way. Looks like he will be clear ahead of Rommel. Will we see a cover? No, he keeps going. So it's probably gonna depend on Furan, and Furan tacks away. Smart move there. So he was seeing that cover coming from Tim Janek. So they're both heading to the right hand side now. Left hand side, sorry. And I think we can also slowly see a left hand shift coming in from that side of the course.
Looks like it's probably going to come left, yep.
So yeah, good decision making there by Furan, who saw Tim Janek coming from the right hand side. Well anticipated. Stidlofin looks to be having the starboard advantage here as well on Furan, and that is going to put the Polish players in a 1-2 winning combination. So it's really going to be up to Furan now to close that gap to the top two and slow them down to allow his team to come back. In the meantime, Lazy Lady can be slowing down both Rommel and Sweet Sailor from the back.
You might have thought Lazy Lady could have done a mark trap there to...
Yeah, exactly. I was preparing to say it, but nothing happened. He remained silent. So maybe they just waited a little bit longer and said, we can handle it from here. But it looks like he is He's sailing a little bit more aggressively now with Love on Sweet Sailor, covering Rommel here as well. So
Yeah, even without the mark trap, he's done a good job of pulling the second two Swedish boats back a bit.
yeah. So there's quite a lot of winning combinations which you should be aware of when sailing in the 3v3. But one of the other FIST rules that you can use is that if you finish first as a team and you don't finish last, you got the victory. So that is also why Lazy Lady might have focused a little bit on Sweet Sailor, just to pick out one of the two boats, put him in last position. But it looks like that attempt has failed a little bit. They still have P1 and P2, so that is still going to give them a winning combination. Same for P1 and P3. But the Swedish players are a little bit closer now, and if on this last downwind they can slow down Sidlofin, then the match might not be over yet.
It's all down to Ferran. Really needs to pull Sidlofin down to fourth.
Yeah, and clear communication with Rommel is very important here as well. That Rommel doesn't follow straight away, but leaves a gap. Otherwise, Rommel might be covering Ferran, and that would really slow down their entire team.
Oh.
So this is an important, and that's exactly what is happening right now. So Sidlofin is basically mimicking the position of Rommel, and by doing that, he is forcing Ferran to stay in the wind shadow of Rommel, slowing both boats down, and that way Ferran has no way of catching up to Sidlofin. So very smart move there by him. Classic team racing in virtual regatta.
Looks like he's just going to hang on.
Yeah, and there he goes, finishing in second position, giving the second win to the Polish team. So yeah, very, very smart moves there by Sidlofin on the downwind, on the second downwind. By mimicking Rommel's course in order to keep on to hold on to second place and cling the victory in the second match for Sweden, for Poland. Sorry.
And bringing up match point. Every race is a must-win now for Sweden.
Yeah, match point already with 3 races to go. So I think that's really gonna be a moral boost for the Polish team, who could use a win after their loss, I believe, against Italy.
So next up is a 4v4 in the J7 team. And the teams are in, so the race is going to start.
So yeah, in the previous race against Italy, Poland didn't manage to win any of the races. So this is really working out well for them now. Great comeback.
Thank you, Pimpy, for pointing that out.
I guess coming up against the Italians is a tough lesson, but I guess you take away some learnings from it, applying them in this one against the Swedes.
So 20 seconds to go. It looks like the committee boat is the favorite side of the course of the starting line right now. The boats are speeding up a little bit towards the pennant. We have one Polish boat starting on pennant, and then a lot of boats bunched up at the committee end there. So it's OCS, I think, for Furmanski, a clean start for Sea Bear, and a penalty for Alokomor. So a few penalties handed out there on both the Swedish and Polish sides, but it looks like it's a clean start for at least 5 boats. Sea Bear now tacking on top of the Polish Timianek. That looked like a small attempt at a penalty there between Phaeton and Worry. But you can see that players are waiting to be aggressive. Definitely in this first upwind, you don't want to risk too much. And as I'm saying that, a penalty there for Alokomor at the back of the fleet, given by Furmanski. So our 2 boats that started the race with a penalty are are still very close together. So as it stands right now with a 1-4-5-8 for Sweden, that means that that Poland is currently winning. But the rankings are changing constantly. So in case of a tie in a 4v4, it is the team with the leading boat that is actually losing the race.
Yeah, I'm watching the 2 boats out to the far right, Sea Bear and Timianek. It looks like they are maybe going to lead at the top mark.
Yeah, they received a very powerful right-hand shift there, and also together with a gust. So it looks like they have a 50 degrees course towards the first mark. So really oversailed the mark by a lot there. And it still looks like they could be ahead of the rest of the fleet.
Sea Bear coming in at 60 degrees. So they could be in a very powerful position here, Sweden.
Yeah, as that shift is sort of dying out, we see Furan and Phaeton, who are both controlling part of the middle of the course. The Phaeton there attacking straight underneath Sea Bear. That's gonna give a 1-2 to Sweden, followed by 2 Polish, and then it's gonna be a close call there between Furan and Antilaquila. Antilaquila just ducks behind, avoiding the Rule 18 penalty. But it's gonna be a penalty for Alokomor, who tried to do the opposite of what Antilaquila did, but didn't have enough space, and Furmanski closed the door once again.
So looks like Sea Bear is going to be able to run away for first place, and then we'll see how it develops behind.
Yeah, good move there by Phaeton, with a little love on Timianek giving the penalty, and I think that penalty together with that love really opened the door now for Sea Bear to sail away in first. So no wind shadow overlap anymore for him. So he can really carry on with his course and secure that first place, which is gonna be a big boost for the Swedish team to win this race. Behind him, we have currently Wari in second place. Furan with a love there on Furmanski with a penalty. Good job there by Furan. So really attacking, playing very aggressively on the downwind as opposed to that upwind. Coming up to the mark now. And that is going to be a penalty for Furan given by our Polish female eSailer Antilla Aquila. I think there really is a big difference between the aggressivity of the downwind and the upwind legs. They seem to be sailing way more aggressive on the downwinds.
For sure, there was a really aggressive, really tactical downwind, as we like to see them. Currently, Seabear still in front, with that then 2-3-4 by the Polish team.
Yeah.
As for
Attempted attack by Ferran there and ended up getting a penalty himself.
Yeah, that was a little bit too much for Ferran, who tried to, I think, use Rule 13 to his advantage on Furmanski. That is the rule where you don't have right of way while tacking. But it looked like Furmanski came out of his tack just before Ferran called up to him. So it looks as if the roles have switched around a bit, with the Polish team now really controlling P2 all the way up to P5.
Yeah, and Seabear coming back a wee bit to see if he can help out, which he needs to do.
Yeah, I think it's an important decision here that you make as a team, whether or not you let Seabear come back, because then you potentially give away that first position, and I think he has already done so, because the distance now between P1 and P2 has become very small, so there's definitely an overlap on the downwind.
Yeah,
so
expecting a mark trap here to try and close things up again.
Yeah, but that is going to be very, very important now, as you really don't want to let the Polish sailors sail away. Remember, if you let 1 and 2 of the Polish sailors sail away, then you need to put the other 2 in position 7 and 8 if you still want to win the race. So a lot of pressure there on Seabear to protect those spots. But I feel like the fleet is really packing up there. So good penalty given to Antilla Aquila, and the Swedes are right up their stern, coming really close now. So it's gonna be an aggressive play here on the last downwind. We see Seabear in the middle of the course, which is gonna put him in a nice position to cover both Furmanski as well as Wari. Furmanski jibing and Seabear covering right on top. Taken over by Ferran there. So good communication by those two players. And over on the other side of the course, we can see Wari being chased down by Alokomor, and Ferran, I think, being able to help out a little bit there.
Yeah, the Swedish really have to put Worry and Attila and Aquila at the back of the fleet right now, where they're going to lose this round as well.
And in the meantime, that was a penalty on Seabear there by Furmanski. Smart move by him. So can the Polish players get a 1-2 in this race? That's really going to be the question.
It looks like Wary's secured the second place there.
Yeah, and it looks like Alokomor forgot to give a penalty to Furmanski, letting him finish into 4th provisionally. And that 4th place finish has been confirmed as well right now. So that is going to give another victory and also the overall win to Poland in race number 3.
Yeah, well done, Poland.
Yeah, very very close battle on the downwind. I think Sweden did a good job there. They took a risk by giving up first place, but I think that risk was worth it. Definitely given the distance that they had between those last boats. So good decision making there, but of course you need to be a bit lucky as well with your positioning on the downwind. And yeah, Worry being able to sneak from that left-hand side into second place didn't help for the Swedish team there. So for the Polish, that means they already secured at least 3 points, which are going to be very important points in Group B, as it seems right now that Italy will go on to take the victory in Group B, or at least be certain of qualifying.
Yeah, every point's going to be crucial for second place. So whether it's 4 points to 1 or 3 points to 2 will be important, possibly in the end results.
Exactly, and actually, the only team that was able to prevent Italy from taking the win was Sweden, but with this loss, that possibility has been excluded. So Italy for sure takes the victory in Group B. That we know for sure already, and yeah, that second spot is now going to be a fierce battle between Turkey, Poland, and maybe Sweden. I don't know.
Yeah, if they can pick up 2 points in this one, they're still right in it.
Yeah, exactly. So 10 seconds before the start of this fourth race in the laser or in the Yilka, a pin and biased start there, and what looks to be a very good start from Sweet Sailor together with Rommel and Worry. So two Swedish and the Polish boat, but I think it is Rommel and Sweet Sailor who are a little bit better off the start, but Worry still able to control due to that starboard position. Worry tacking away there, so got a little bit of wind shadow by Rommel, and that's a very good position for the Swedes.
Yeah, there could be a right shift coming, so that might be where he's running for the right shift. Oh, he's coming back. It's maybe enough.
Yeah, but I think that little double tack by